There are a ton of great day trips from Munich, but this one is straight up magic.
Bavaria's old royalty influenced pop culture around the world, but perhaps not in the ways they imagined it would. For example, it was the royal old Neuschwanstein castle that inspired Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty castle itself. Tucked away in the southwest of Germany's Alps, about 2 hours from Munich, Neuschwanstein is a day trip that you simply can't pass up, no matter how touristy it may feel. Perched up on a hillside overlooking the crystal-clear Lake Forganese, the whimsical towers and turrets against the majestic backdrop of the German Alps are straight out of the pages of a fairy tale, and you'll feel that sensation through all 5 of your senses. And today, my mission is to bring each of those sensations to you experientially,
So that you can feel as if you're right there with me through the screen.
Before we make the magical and sweat-inducing hike up the mountainside, there's a charming little village that serves as our home base. If Neuschwanstein were, say, Hogwarts, then the charming little Bavarian village of Füssen would be Hogsmeade. A mere kilometer from the Austrian border, just over 15,000 people live in this picture-perfect little town, and, I mean, it's absolutely perfect.
While the more famous Munich is an awesome city, Füssen is exactly what I imagined Bavaria would look like.
Colorful, winding cobbled streets, adorned in quaint, warmly painted buildings with pointed roofs beneath red clay tiles, blanket the Alpine village, which sits along the cleanest, most vibrantly blue river I think I've ever seen. Small cone turrets poke up above the roofline here and there, draped against a backdrop of the jagged, lush, pine tree-layered Alps.
Füssen is about as quaint and picturesque and just classically Bavarian as it possibly gets. This is so charming. The streets are all cobbled, the buildings are all old and painted in bold colors. It's just beautiful. It's so quiet. There's no auto traffic really at all. You just hear pedestrians, some kid playing the whistle. Occasionally bells chiming from the towers. The air smells like farmland, okay, so smells like cows. But otherwise, it's just absolutely perfect.
Of course, as you stroll along its main promenade, the bustle of crowds and clanking cutlery create a more lively soundscape, but still not enough to take away from that storybook charm. Füssen is great and deserves more than a day, in my opinion, but now, it's time for what we came here for. To get to Neuschwanstein, there's a considerable hike up the mountainside, but that's okay because the fairy tale charm kicks in well before the castle gates. The forested trails serve as footpaths for horse-drawn carriages, and little Bavarian pubs pop up here and there for those needing a crisp pick-me-up for the journey. To imagine the hike up, imagine the cool, crisp alpine air against your skin as the sounds of your own footsteps on the gravelly paths fill your ears. The prevailing scent of fresh earth and farmland permeate your nostrils. Opened to the public in 1886, the Romanesque Revival Castle is, well, technically not a castle. It was intended to be a summer escape for one of the last Bavarian kings, King Ludwig II. Only 15 rooms were actually completed before his rather mysterious death, but the royal rooms and kitchens that were finished are simply jaw-dropping. Polished wooden walls, carved delicately into intricate sculptures, sit behind bold, satin tapestries and an insane amount of wooden Gothic furnishing. The castle's decorative fan-vaulted corridors, golden-laced ballrooms, and wooden-carved chambers have a certain warmth to them, but also a hint of magical mischief thanks to things like hidden doors built into fake stone grottos. Neuschwanstein has all the makings of a fantasy castle, and it's not hard to find yourself slipping into a scene from Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, or any of the other fairy tale classics put to the screen by Walt Disney. Or Hogwarts, a smaller German Hogwarts. The best part of the experience, in my opinion, isn't actually the fairy-tale-like castle, it's the Alps. The vistas over the jagged, snow-capped alpine mountains, which peer ominously above Füssen and the crystal-clear Lake Forgensee, are mesmerizing. From up here, you can catch a glimpse of another nearby castle, Hohenschwangau, King Ludwig II's childhood home and a clear inspiration for his larger, higher-up fairy tale retreat. To place yourself imaginatively here into this literal storybook come to life, imagine the sense of that fresh water and farmland from below breezing up to your nostrils through the chilly alpine air. Bell chimes from the castle's towers, birds chirping, and leaves rustling in the trees join the cascade of a waterfall deep into the ravine. If you find yourself in Munich or any of the charming Bavarian villages like Füssen throughout the rolling hills and mountains of this southern kingdom turned German state, a day trip to Neuschwanstein isn't just worth it, it's essential. Thanks for joining me today as we explored Neuschwanstein Castle and the charming village of Füssen through all 5 senses. For the 5 senses of a more urban Bavaria, check out my full travel vlog on Munich. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.